We have a problem, Batman. Gotham needs you again.
Rorschach. Real name, Walter Joseph Kovacs. Human. No powers, no enhanced physiology. Just grit, pain, and absolute conviction. But conviction, when stripped of empathy, becomes something else, something dangerous. Rorschach doesn't just fight crime, he wages moral war. Every breath he takes is filtered through a binary lens, right or wrong, justice or filth, no in-between, no mercy. That kind of mind it breaks, and in the process it breaks everything around it. Rorschach is a walking judgment day in a mask. He's been broken since childhood, the kind of trauma that doesn't fade. It calcifies. An abusive home, a neglectful system, a city that spat on every attempt to live a decent life. So he made a choice, to become the thing he feared. Not out of vengeance, out of necessity. His worldview isn't political, it isn't even rational, it's spiritual. In his eyes, the world is rotting, and he's the final hand washing it clean, even if he has to use blood to do it. That makes him lethal. Because he doesn't act for approval, he acts because he believes. Belief can't be bargained with. He's not superhuman, but he doesn't need to be. His pain tolerance is inhuman, his endurance unmatched. He'll fight 5 men twice his size and not blink. He doesn't care about pain. He doesn't care about survival. That's the weapon. He fights like he's already dead, like the worst has already happened, and the only thing left is justice carved into concrete. He's taken down corrupt officials, mafia bosses, serial killers, and smiled afterward, not because it felt good, but because it felt correct. Surveilling him is nearly impossible. He lives like a ghost, no home, no bank account, no heat signature to follow. He operates in the cracks, alleys, rooftops, shelters. He moves through the city like a rumor. The mask, the ink blot, is more than camouflage. It's a philosophy. It doesn't change based on mood. It reflects the person staring at it. That's the point. Rorschach doesn't need to hide. He wants you to look at him and see yourself, and flinch. To track him, I've had to install low-frequency monitors across Gotham's sewer systems, abandoned warehouses, and underground transit hubs. He travels where no one watches, where people are forgotten. So I follow the forgotten. Patterns of movement, garbage flow, temperature shifts. If a man hasn't used a credit card, phone, or ID in years and still moves like a shadow, he leaves a trail. You just have to know where to look. I'm not worried he'll attack for no reason. I'm worried he'll attack for the right one. If the system fails too hard, if the wrong man walks free, if the courts fall silent and the innocent bleed, he'll act. And when he does, it won't be surgical. It'll be fire, rope, acid, and a diary page signed in blood. What do you think, Alfred?
I think he's the kind of man who sees truth as heavier than law, and that kind of weight crushes whatever tries to carry it. But you're right to prepare, because the moment we stop believing the system can work, men like him fill the void.
Exactly. That's why I've built a psychological feedback system, not to fight him, but to stall him. A series of fake cases, manufactured crimes, and unsolved puzzles seeded across the city, each one pointing to injustice, each one almost real, enough to keep him chasing, questioning, investigating, not to trap him, to occupy him. Because as long as he's chasing ghosts, he's not carving his verdicts into living flesh. If escalation occurs, I initiate protocol mirror, face-to-face confrontation. No gadgets, no theatrics, just words. He respects directness. He hates corruption. But he listens to those who don't lie. If that fails, I activate the backup, a sedative cocktail tailored to his weight, metabolism, and tolerance for pain, administered through micro-darts embedded in standard throwing equipment. He won't see it as betrayal. He'll see it as proof that I took him seriously. Containment is temporary. He can't be held in standard cells. He'll starve before compromising, break bones to escape cuffs. I've constructed a chamber modeled on his psychology. Minimal, cold, morally neutral. No guards, no orders, just silence. That's where his certainty begins to tremble. Alone, with nothing to correct, he reflects. That's the pressure point. Reflection without a target becomes doubt. If I fall, the final measure is activation of his journal, the unedited version, the one with everything, released not to discredit, but to show the world what happens when justice becomes obsession. It's not about punishment. It's about precedent. Because if the world sees Rorschach as necessary, it stops believing in systems. And when that belief dies, we lose more than cities. We lose the idea of order. Rorschach isn't a villain. He's what comes after the heroes fail. He's the answer people whisper when laws break and monsters walk free. But answers without checks become weapons. And if he ever decides the world isn't worth saving, he won't destroy it with bombs. He'll do it with silence. One death at a time. So I watch, I wait, I prepare, because even the smallest flame, if fed enough rage, becomes a firestorm. And file.